We'll talk about.
I know, right? Hey, we are live. Hey,
We are
hello,
live.
everybody. Technology. What can you say? I love technology. I really do love it. I'm so grateful that we have, computers and we've got cameras and it connects to different platforms. How wonderful technology is. But man, sometimes it can be a real bugaboo, I was just on a Zoom call, and when I went to come on to StreamYard, it didn't work. My camera didn't work, so I had to restart my computer. Well, then somehow this episode of the Everyday Riches Show was somehow deleted on Facebook. So we couldn't get it onto Facebook. So here we are. We had to delete that, go through gyrations. But anyway, hello, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Today it's a Pat and Barb show, or the Barb and Pat show. It's just gonna be the two of us today, and yay, this is gonna be such fun. We had a guest scheduled for today, but she was not able to make it, so we decided to just do this ourselves because we haven't caught up with you for a while. And
right. And you know what? And one of the things that we were talking about, and I'm Barbara Ellison. One of the things we were talking about, it's so often when you are having conversations with somebody, just rambling conversations, there will sometimes be just a spark of inspiration will come out of something that one of us says. And that has been our life over these last few years, that once in a while we'll just be chatting about something and all of a sudden it's like, oh, wow, that's a great idea. Let's do that. And that is why it is so important to be part of a group or a mentorship, a part of a mastermind. That's one of the things that Napoleon Hill talks about in his book.
Yeah.
Being part of a mastermind.
That's right.
And the thing is,
come together.
Just when two or more people come together, the thing is that masterminds, I was one of these. When I first read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, I was like, all the limiting beliefs came rolling in. Who could I possibly be to be in a mastermind? Because in my mind at the time, it was like, oh brother, I don't know anything. How could I possibly, give and receive in a mastermind? Number one, who would I even participate with in a mastermind? And then one day I was sitting, and it was one of the groups that we were in, Pat. And all of a sudden it was like, Barbara, this is a mastermind.
Yeah, exactly.
because we're all just sitting around talking about things that we're doing and we're exchanging ideas. And it was like, oh, yikes. So masterminds are not these big, grandiose things with people who are already rich. Yes, they still do it. Yes, absolutely. The 7-figure earners are still part of masterminds with 8-figure earners, because if they want to be an 8-figure earner. But you know what? We all start somewhere. And you can be we started with a free mastermind where we just all kind of got together and just chit-chatting about ideas and things like that. And then you can go into some of the paid masterminds and that are a little bit bigger. And then, because when you have some skin in the game,
makes a huge difference. Makes a huge difference. And that's the direction. Do more stuff. That's the direction I'm taking my business this year. Is I'm starting masterminds. They are going to be paid masterminds because, yes, when you have skin in the game, it makes all the difference in the world. I mean, totally makes all the difference in the world. Yeah. And if you're on here live, Adrian Barker, please say hello.
Hi, Adrian.
Anyway, it makes a huge difference by having skin in the game. And the results that people get are just so much higher. I have one mentor who was talking, I guess about a month ago or so. She was talking about the mastermind that she's in, and it's $100,000 for the mastermind that she's in.
Right.
But when she joined that mastermind, hello, Adrian. When she joined that mastermind, the next month she made $350,000 because it just changes the way that you think. So yes, there are some masterminds coming.
And one of our favorite sayings, and you have heard, if you've listened to us for any amount of time, you've heard this statement before, and you're going to continue to hear it, because our statement is that you do not know what you don't know.
That's exactly right. Yes.
That's the power of a mastermind.
And you can't change your thinking from where you are right now. You have to have those outside forces giving you some perspective. So I want to talk about perspective because I have to tell you it's really funny. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of diverge off of this because I mean this is
a random call today. We're going to talk about whatever. It is
random. And if you're watching this on replay, please type in #replay. But anyway, so Barbara and I talk every once in a while about losing our husbands, being single, all that stuff. So last night I was sitting at dinner with a friend of mine. He is a very good friend of mine, and we've decided that we are going to we're going to make some new friends, not necessarily to date somebody, but to meet some new people, to expand our networks, because you have to do that from time to time. You don't have to, but it's fun to do that from time to time. So we both jumped on dating sites, and this has been going on for the past couple of days. Last year I had some really bad experiences with dating. So decided, I know, the stories I could tell. Anyway, I'm not going down that road.
Same for another day.
I know. So last night, as we're scrolling through our feeds, I want to show you what came up and talk about perspective and what people put out there about themselves. So let's see if I can show you what was on, you know, I'm going to shut off the picture.
A coffin? Is that what I'm seeing?
You're seeing a coffin. Yes, you are seeing a coffin with a guy standing next to it. This is what his profile picture was.
Oh, yike.
So what is he actually saying to the world? I mean, I'd love to get, if you're watching this, I would love to get, you know, whether you're watching it live or on replay, I would love to get your perspective. Why would somebody do that?
Yeah. That just makes no sense to me.
Right. So as this conversation of mastermind is coming around, right? Why would somebody put an image of themselves out there that is not the best image? Well, clearly he doesn't know this isn't a great image of him. Clearly, right?
Right.
And sometimes,
probably him himself, if he had cropped out the coffin part, it would have been an okay picture.
Well, but he's only showing half of himself.
Exactly. But maybe
show you again. I mean, I'm gonna really blow it up because you can see how little of him we can actually see. This is it, right? It's a dark picture. You can barely see him. So, anyway.
He's now infamous, of course, because he's on our show.
Yeah. And if you are watching this and you're a single man and you want to use this platform to kind of hit on either one of us, don't bother. Just don't bother. Yeah. Can I just say that, please, right out of the gate? I've been doing a lot of Facebook Lives in my business over the past couple months because I'm establishing not only credibility and a platform for my ideal clients to find me, which is important, but I really have some valuable content that I'm putting out there, and I really want people to get this content and use it in their businesses. Yeah. But inevitably, especially this week, I don't know what's going on in the world out there, but this week, there's like 2 or 3 different men who are coming on and they're actually putting in the comment section, "You're really lovely. You know, would you friend me?" And I go and I look at their profiles to see, are they legitimate in business? And they're not.
No, I get the, "Oh, hi. Oh, you're beautiful. Hi, pretty." I'm like, oh, they're trolls.
Exactly.
They're trolls.
Exactly. So don't be a troll. You know, be legit, be good out there, put out good stuff that people can really, you can pour into people and that people can pour into their lives so that they take that information and they do some good. And then with that good, you know, it becomes a ripple effect, right? You want the world to have the best, and it starts with you. It starts with the power and authority that you bring to your platform each and every day, whether you're putting a hello post out there, if you're putting out there with power and authority, that you are, you know who you are, you know who you're being, you know the people you want to work with, you know the friends you want to have in your life, and you exclude those who are not part of that tribe because you want these good people in your life and you want to surround yourself by all the good stuff. Yeah. Put that ripple stuff out there. It really, really, really makes a difference. Really makes a difference. Yeah. Exactly.
You know, and it's so funny because what you just said is kind of where I've been a little bit this week. I had a friend of mine, she had a cochlear implant put in. And so every 4 to 6 months we have to go and have it adjusted. Anyway, so yesterday was the time to do that. Well, she lives a little over an hour from me, so I went up Monday night. Well, it was a beautiful day here in Chicago. Absolutely a beautiful day here in Chicago. Beautiful day for a drive. I mean, the radio's blaring, my sunroof's open. It's a great day. But you know what? When you're meant to hear something, you are meant to hear something. And I don't even know what was on the radio. I was just tooling along. Minding my own business, just driving on this beautiful day. But you know what? The law of attraction says that when you feel really good, the universe will download things into your being.
That's so true.
Things that you need to know. So I was just talking about my business, and I'm a personality. I'm your personality pro, because personality drives reality, and I want to connect people with with their personality and their messaging and their ideal audience, and that's what I do. So as I was just thinking about little things that I could be doing, the word connectionist came into my being. And I went, connectionist? But I'm driving, so, I'm just like, okay, so I have to sit with it for a while, because it was almost an hour drive, but I was still going along. And I said, well, you know what? That kind of resonates me with, it's all about connection, and with our, connection with ourselves and connection with the people around us. So then, of course, when I got up to my girlfriends, well, of course, Google is my best friend. And I looked up, I said, I wonder if there really is a word, connectionist. Well, guess what? It's a whole science called connectionism. And I am going to put on my glasses, and I am going to read one of the descriptions of it. Connectionism theory. It's based on the principle of active learning, and is the result of the work of an American psychologist, Edward Thorndike. According to these laws, learning is achieved when an individual is able to form associations between a particular stimulus and a response.
So true.
Well, that's exactly what I help people to do, is to broadcast out the know, like, and trust factor that they need to connect with their ideal audience. And it was like, out of that came a whole thing that I'm going to do of teaching. So it's going to be the clarity, conversation, and cash. Because you know what, when you are that have clarity of who you are within what you do, then what are you within what you do? So who am I? I'm your personality pro. Well, what I do within what I do is I'm a connector. I'm going to help you to connect the dots between your personality, your messaging, and your ideal audience. But then what we're going to do is that we're going to transform the personality of the messaging that you're putting out there. So that what we just talked about, attracting the people who you are supposed to be in contact with, your tribe, the people that you're supposed to. So it's like, oh, this whole thing just kind of has come together in this last couple of days, just about teaching people about learning. How do they learn? So many people don't understand how they learn, and what stage of learning are they in.
So true. So true.
And then how your personality impacts how you learn. So that's going to be a whole thing. And then, because when you know those things, you're going to attract the cash and the clients.
It's really interesting. So do you know how it really happens? I was blown away, as a nurse, or as a former nurse. I'm always into the science of things, right? So it's not just about how to bring in clients. It's not just how to manifest things out in the world. It's not just how to make those connections with people. There's a lot of science behind it.
Exactly.
And one of the things that's really interesting is when you have something that you really, really want, there is an actual spark that happens in your solar plexus that feeds into your heart. And of course, we're all electric, right? We have an electrical system that's going on. So what happens is, from your heart, there's an electrical impulse that goes up through your brain up to what's called the thalamic bridge. Your thalamus is up here,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes up to your thalamic bridge. And when you're feeling good, when you're feeling gratitude, when you're out in nature, when you're having really, really good feelings, what happens is this thalamic bridge, which looks, it's like a two, what it looks like, it looks like two lines that go up and then it forms like a T. So it goes up and out like this. What happens is this thalamic bridge, and that's what it's called, it ends here on the top of your head, it actually opens up. And that's when you get those downloads that come in. It's fascinating how it all works.
It was an instant download of that word, connectionist.
Sure.
And then from there, it has just expanded out. It's been like, and I ran it through my accountability group. That's another thing. Become part of an accountability group.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really important.
It's really important. Anyway, so I was sharing with my accountability group what I just shared with you, and they were like, "Wow, Barb, very young." Yeah, and it was like an instant download, and all I was doing was tooling along on a beautiful day, taking a drive with the radio blaring and feeling great.
Yeah, and so many times, we get so focused on one thing in our business or in our lives, and we think, this is the way it's got to be, and we don't open up the other possibilities. And I know that when I'm working with my clients, I'm a business coach, right? And everybody thinks, oh, business coach, right? But there's so much more to it than that, at least the way that I do it, because there is science behind it. And the way that you structure your life, if you really want to have a lifestyle business, which is really what the goal of the work that I do is, so you have not only the life that you want, but the business you absolutely love, where you're not killing yourself. The grind thing has got to go. The whole idea of grinding doesn't work. Right.
Spending all your time at work.
Exactly.
Cut it out.
Exactly. My clients end up taking time off during the week. They end up having weekends off. They end up spending more time with their family and their friends. They end up making a crap load more money. They end up having a lot more fun because it's all incorporated in.
Right.
Understanding how the science works and incorporating it into your business changes the way. Anybody can teach you the strategies and tactics. You can get those on YouTube, or you can get them through books, or you can get them wherever. But finding the right things that resonate with you and using that electrical energy of the universe and you to incorporate that into your business, and putting those things in that really matter to you, and having passion and purpose and your big why. Right. That was another thing that really struck me big time this week. I was talking to, I can't remember, who was I talking to? I was reading this book, and they were talking about your why. And I got why from a very different perspective this week. It was like a game changer for me. And that there's a conversation going on behind every single conversation. Right. Every thought has another thought behind it. And we hear about shadow. Well, I don't know if everybody's heard about shadow work, but Debbie Ford, I think it is, started this topic of shadow work back in the 1980s or 1990s. And what that is you have this persona that's out in front of you, and you've got these belief systems that are in front of you and that you're living with every day. But behind it, there's a whole different personality, a whole different person that's going on behind you. So you may be putting this thing out there about who you are and what you're all about, and feeling like you're authentic. But in the background, there's this whole person that's out there that's behind you, that's driving everything. And that's in your subconscious and your superconscious, right? Yep. But you don't see it.
Right. That's why you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. You cannot see it because it's behind you. And that's why you need people in your life, and like accountability partners, like mastermind partners, like coaches who see these things and can point them out to you. Your family and your friends love you. They want to keep you safe and where you are. So they're not going to point, they may criticize you, but they may not point out to you what's really going on and what they're really seeing. And if you have those people in your life that can bring these things out and not only point out what you're not seeing, but can also point you in the direction to go so that you go faster where you want to go in life and in business, it's a game changer. Right. So.
Okay, so I'm going to give you kudos. You know that I love you, and we have been friends for a long time.
Ever. Years.
Kudos to Pat. The other day, I don't remember which thing I was listening to of yours, and you were talking about the rocks that you put into your schedule.
Yes.
So start out with your spiritual, get in touch with your higher, whether you call it source or God or whatever that you're.
One full day off a week plus a minimum of you do 30 to 2 hours a day, 30 minutes to 2 hours a day to get in touch with God, spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly. And and then get into the personal development of who what do you want to do and that kind of stuff. But then you get in touch with your family and your relationships. Put those in. Take time to schedule. The key word there is to schedule family time, play games, that kind of thing. And then schedule into your business, your work. Okay, I'm going to tell on myself. That was like, okay, yeah, Pat. All right, yeah, you're talking to me right now.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, yeah. So this week I'm re-looking at my schedule because I tend to just, because I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun with what I'm doing. And that's why I know that I'm getting these downloads of, Barb, this is something that you can do. But you know what? I've been kind of like neglecting.
So here's the interesting thing. So last week I was doing some research on workaholism. And it's a topic that I've gone into 100 times. Back in 2014, 2015, I was doing seminars about workaholism, getting people out of the workaholic mindset. And, you'd think we had progressed a little bit further along. However, we really haven't.
We haven't.
But here's a really cool thing. Well, really not so cool thing. A workaholic, this is going to totally blow you away, Barb. People who work more than 50 hours a week are actually considered workaholics.
Yeah.
50 hours a week. I mean, how many people do you know that are working 50 hours a week? Like a ton, right? And right now, while I'm talking to you, I'm also looking for this because
sometimes me.
Yeah, exactly. So I came up with this post, and I think I posted it here on Facebook. I know it's on LinkedIn, but that workaholism is a disease. And bear with me for a second because I'm going to pull it up because there were some different criteria that went along with it. And this is by the American Psychological Association. This is not something I made up. Right. This is like studying and actually doing research. And
that's like me. One time, while you're doing that, one time I did a thing on, and I'm the happiness girl. I want people to be happy. Right. And one of the things that I was researching of how many people, especially here in the U.S., don't take vacation. They lose their vacation time.
Exactly.
Because they don't take vacation. Okay, come on, people.
Okay, so workaholism. In addition to longer hours work, one or more of these characteristics are a hallmark of workaholics. Feeling driven to work because of internal pressures. Thinking about working when you're away from work. Working more than what would be expected from someone working in your job. So in other words, if you hired somebody to work in your job and you're working more than you would expect that person, it's a problem. So working more than what would be expected from someone working in your job despite the consequences. And these can be things like marital and family issues, health issues, disturbed sleep, depression, anxiety, etc. But when you work hard, and most people who are workaholics, they say, but I really love working. And most of them do
Didn't I just say that?
I know, right? Most of them love working hard in their business and they get true enjoyment out of it. But here's the thing. When you work hard and when you're working hard and you've got the long hours paired with these things, this is where the real trouble comes in. The need to stay busy, having difficulty relaxing, you're challenged to find fun in other activities, being a perfectionist, unable to delegate work to others, preoccupation with to-do lists, difficulty being emotionally connected with other people. Your spouse, your partner, your children, and friends complain that you work too much and forgetting important dates or conversations because you're preoccupied with working and planning.
I just missed one of my granddaughter's birthdays. Totally spaced it out. And all of a sudden it was like, and the sad thing is, it was on Facebook. And I went, oh crap, I totally missed her birthday.
Oh my.
It was at the beginning of March. March 5th. Totally missed her birthday.
Wow.
And I was like, Barbara, Yeah, so that's what I have really got to rethink. And, just, yeah, I've got to
Yeah.
spend some more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So one of
so
the
you would,
things
so it hit home. Thank you very much.
my pleasure. Yeah, it hit home for a couple things on that for me as well. And how this all came about was I was having a conversation with somebody who was avoiding going to his niece's wedding because he felt like he needed to work. And how was that going to play out? It was his wife's sister's daughter. And he was about to tell his wife he was not going to her sister's daughter's wedding. How do you think that was going to play out in his family?
That was not going to be good.
Not going to be good. No. He ultimately did go. However, he was preoccupied the whole time. And, have you ever gone to like a party with somebody or an event with somebody and they want to get out of there like as fast as possible?
Oh, yeah.
Because there's other things to do, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the things, and in fact, I the other day, a friend of mine texted something about that. Oh, she was going to take a nap and then go back to work. And I just wrote back to her and said, well, you know what? Nobody on their deathbed said they wished they had spent more time at work.
Exactly right.
And then she wrote back to me and said, ooh, I needed that. because it was like, and that was just, sometimes you just need a reminder that, and that's why the other day when I was listening to you, it was like, oh yeah, Barb.
Yeah. So when you're setting up your schedule, let's just talk about that here since you mentioned it.
Right.
One full day off. And that means no technology. That means you put your phone away unless there's like an emergency call that may come in from your 86-year-old mother who's thinking about driving to New Hampshire all by herself. But anyway, there's that.
Oh, she wants to do that. Huh? Okay, yeah.
Anyway, but no, I'm going up to Florida. I'm going up to New Hampshire with her. I live in Florida. I'm going up to New Hampshire with her this weekend. We're going up on the auto train and we're driving so that she doesn't drive up by herself. But anyway, so one full day, no technology. So that means no phones, no computers, preferably no television. It's a day to completely unplug from technology. Why? Because your brain needs it. It needs that downtime to be able to recalibrate itself. So when you are out there and you're technology driven and you're on things all day long and technology, your brain gets tired and it can't recalibrate itself. And especially if you're not getting enough sleep at night, it doesn't have time to reset itself. So it ends up burning out eventually. And that's why we see a high amount of people who have rage, who have high stress, who have nervous breakdowns, who have health issues, because your body doesn't have time to recalibrate. So number one, take that full day off. Every single day, you want to take out 30 minutes to 2 hours a day. Prayer, meditation, getting grounded, getting centered with who you are. Very critically important. Is part of that regrounding process. Because that's number one. That's all part of number one. Number two is spending time with your significant other, your spouse, that person, because when the kids go away, that person hopefully is still going to be there. But if you've been focusing all your time on other things, when the time comes, that person will not be there for you. Number three is spending time with your kids. Really important to spend time with your kids. And we aren't talking about, and when we're talking about the spouse and the kids, that means shutting off your phone. That means walking away from your computer. That means not having dinner with your, I just totally trashed my computer. That means not spending time on your phone reading your text messages, right? That means spending time with those people that you really love, spending time at dinner, spending time with homework, doing all those things that really matter, having time to have a game with your friend, with your family, spending time doing homework with your kids. Really important. Block that time off on your calendar. These are things you block off on your calendar. Once you get through those three things, also with the significant other or the spouse, make sure you're actually blocking that time off and going on dates.
Right.
Like getting out of the house and actually going on a date. I recommend 2 times a week. One time in the middle of the week, one time like on a Saturday evening, if you're taking Sunday off, stop working at like 3 o'clock on the Saturday and spend that time with your significant other and your family and have that time, and then go into Sunday. That way you have a real, your body and brain really has time to really calibrate. Okay. So we've done the prayer meditation.
Yeah.
A
And
little
you know what,
Xanax,
but
please.
what, see, you know, that in some ways that's could not a Freudian slip,
Yeah, I know.
because sometimes when you're not doing that, that's exactly what you do. You turn to medication.
Exactly.
Don't do it.
Right. Okay. So we have the prayer meditation, we have the significant other spouse, we have the kids. Next is work. Actually block it out on your calendar. You start here, you end here, you have a lunch break, you put in breaks during the day, you actually put in your calendar. Why? Because if you don't, work will overrun everything you do. There's always something more to do. Always, always, always. And when it's end time, it ends.
Right.
You know there are things to do. Now, here's the other little trick. 15 minutes before you end your day, make a note to yourself of 3 things that you know you're going to be going into your next day with. A lot of people do this the night before at bedtime before they go to bed. Instead, do it 15 minutes before you end your day. You will find you're so much more productive, because when you go into the next day, you know where you're starting. You do that when you're going on a vacation or on the weekend as well, because if you don't, what happens is you start that next day and it's, where do I start? Okay, what was I working on? And you waste 30 minutes of the first part of your day when you just had to just take a quick little note and you'd be done. Okay, next. Those are the first 4 things. The next thing is get some exercise. Put it in your calendar.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's everything else. It's doing the laundry. It's cooking meals. It's reading books. It's spending time with friends. It's doing all those other things that you want in your life. And then, of course, block in your sleep time. Make sure you're getting sleep time. I recommend also blocking a minimum of 30 minutes a day reading. Pour into yourself, right? Whatever you put into yourself, nobody can ever take away from you.
Yep, exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, that was absolutely because and I think what happened was, it was the night before I heard that, because I don't remember when it was, but I think it was the night before. All of a sudden I looked at my clock on my computer and it was after 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, but then because then I couldn't turn it off. So consequently, I was still awake at 3 o'clock. Well, I had to get up at 7 o'clock. So there's my sleep pattern totally messed up. And so, yeah, I've just really, it was this week. And so I've been really, it's like, okay, Barbara, this is something you've got to work on.
Sleep is so critical to your body. So critical. It regulates so much in your body. I was just talking to this man, and he was talking about how he had really high blood pressure. And he was working with his doctor, and his doctor said, well, how much water are you drinking? And he realized he was drinking like nothing, right? So he started incorporating water and changing his sleep, where he was actually getting 8 hours of sleep a night. And he's off of medication now, just because of those 2 things.
Yeah.
Just because of those 2 things.
So, but the biggest thing for me is, like, when I go out for a walk now, like before I would use it to make phone calls. If I take take my Daisy for a walk. And now I take my phone with me, just because I do track my walk, and it's a charity donation to my pet rescue, but I don't take my phone out of my pocket.
Yes. Yes. Really critically important. And Barb is just frozen. And I hope that's Barb that's frozen and not me, because I just see myself. There, you're back. You froze for a minute.
Yeah. And so then it was like, okay, fine. But you know what, Barb? You're going to go take a whole day because I don't do that.
Right.
So this Sunday is going, because especially, and this is such a good timing, because this week is Easter Sunday, and my church is having a sunrise service. So it's like no technology, and thank you for the 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do I'm going to look for some fun things for me to do.
Yes. Take yourself on a date.
Exactly.
Right? If you don't have a date on Saturday night, take yourself out on a date. Go and find an activity. I mean, even if it's walking around the mall, which is certainly not the best thing to do, but, go and find an activity, something you really want to do, and take yourself out for dinner. And, go and sit in a park and read a book. It doesn't have to be expensive. You don't even have to spend any money. In fact, that was something that I learned a long, long time ago from Jim Bunch. Make a list of 25 things you can do that don't cost any money,
don't cost money,
and a list of 25 things that you can do that do cost money. And if you have the money, use the things on the money list if they appeal to you. If not, use the things on the free list. Are you near a park you can go to? Can you take a walk by a lake? Can you take a walk through your neighborhood? Can you go to a pet store and go and visit with the animals there?
Yeah.
Can you go and, take a walk out in nature? And, go and sit by a stream, or go and, take a walk on a path, even if it's through a neighborhood, it just gives you joy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to, things don't have to cost money, but doing things that really feed your soul and really promote gratitude in your life make all the difference in the world.
And because I have to admit, so often I can hear myself saying, "Oh, I don't have time. I've got a book that I'm really enjoying, but I don't have time to read." Well, guess what I'm going to do this Sunday? I'm going to read my book. I am going to read my book, and it is a marvelous book. And I'm going to show it to you. It's called "Love is Damn Good Business." Love what you do in the service of people who love what you do.
I love that.
By Steve Farber. Well, I read the first 2 chapters, and that was part of where all this new clarity of mind has come from. To love what you do in the service of people who love what you do. I haven't read the rest of the book.
Right.
Because I don't have time to read. Oh, Bo Roar. Today, so Pat, I have to say thank you. This is why we are friends, because everyone's, and that's like, So this is Easter Sunday. I'm going to take time to go to sunrise service, go to church, visit friends, and sit and read and play with my grandchildren that I missed.
There's a nice idea.
And that I missed her birthday.
So what I'm going to do on Easter Sunday, so I'm taking my mom up to New Hampshire, and my son, one of my kids, lives in Boston. So he doesn't want to be, because of COVID, he's concerned with any kind of interaction or anything like that. But I'm going to go pick up some food, and I'm driving to Boston, and I'm going to meet him at a park, and we're going to sit outside in the freaking freezing weather. And but
it's going to be a beautiful day.
It is. Well, it's going to be beautiful because we're going to be together.
Exactly.
And we're going to sit and we're going to have lunch together, and it's going to be really, really wonderful to spend that time with him. Yeah. Be really good. And yes, I think I will read a book too. So I've started a book, and I haven't gotten very deep into it. It's Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Light.
Several people have said that it is wonderful.
Yes, exactly. So I started reading it a couple days ago, and yes, it is. The writing is amazing. And I'm going to spend some time reading it because I'm really looking forward to getting through the book and learning from him. As an actor, you wouldn't think that he would have a book that you would really want to read as something to learn from, but yet we all have lessons to learn. And
it's like one time I was listening to, and his name has just escaped me, Will Smith. Oh, he gives some powerful stories of personal growth.
Oh, love it.
Oh, personal growth. But now, feel bad for me. I'm off to the dentist.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know, but I've got to go. It's my every 4 months I've got to go to the dentist. So it's like today's the day, but it's just a cleaning and stuff. But still, you know what? How we all hate doing things. Yeah.
And taking care of yourself is by far the most important thing in the world. If you don't take care of yourself, who's going to?
Nobody will do it for you.
Exactly.
So,
and you're here on this planet to have a wonderful experience. You're not here for stress and struggle and strife. And, again, if you're not taking care of you, then you're kind of missing out on the whole point of being here.
And then they're saying that by the year 2035, which is they have expecting the life expectancy to double. Well, the life expectancy right now, and we don't have the best one, but is like 76 years.
Yeah.
So if they're going to double it, that means we could live between 140 and 150, 60 years.
So take
Well,
care of your body.
so I'm gonna, yeah, take care of
Yeah,
take care of your body. So, anyways,
with that, how about if we end the show?
I guess we better because I
Yeah.
have to go to the dentist.
I know you do. Hey, everybody, have fun today. Incorporate something really, really fun into your day or into your evening, whatever time you're watching this.
Yeah.
Realize that you are.
Let us know that. Give us a comment. It's something that you're going to do. This is a little accountability. Give us a hashtag replay and then something that you are going to do this weekend.
Yes.
To take time off to do something fun or something, something fun, something with your family, something with yourself. Like I'm single. You know what? I'm going to do something. I'm going to take myself on a date.
I think that we need to do a call at one of these shows one day about dating.
Oh, yeah.
If everybody would like to hear about dating, I mean, we could do dating horror stories. Oh my God, I've got dating.
Oh, I've got a few of them.
Yeah, I know. Like the guy who looked just like Bradley Cooper. Yeah, that was.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I remember that one.
Oh my God.
I remember that one.
He looked like a spitting image, but man, he was not Bradley Cooper. Let's just
yeah. And you know what we could do too? Have on a dating coach.
We should. Oh, yes. So there's this guy. He did a TEDx talk. He's married now, but he did this TEDx talk. In fact, I'm going to reach out to him and see if we can get him on because I think it'd be really good.
Be fun.
He did this TEDx talk. And if you're in the dating world or if you're, interested in dating, if you're married, don't go do this. Anyway, unless you get that kind of relationship. But he did this TEDx talk called No More Bad Dates. And if you have not seen it, you need to see it. And now when I'm talking to somebody about potentially going on a date, they have to watch the video and they have to follow the process or it doesn't happen.
Right.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's a good. I forgot about that. See, we were meant to talk about this.
We were.
Doesn't
if everybody would like comment below if that's a topic you'd like to talk about
because your social life affects your business life and your business life affects your social life.
Absolutely.
So let's talk. Yeah, that would be a great conversation. We could reach out. We should have a man dating coach and a woman dating coach.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be fun because like this guy.
See how this is the power of a mastermind.
That's right. That's right.
This will be a great idea.
Yep. And if you're interested in masterminds, let me know because, like I said earlier in the show, I am bringing in some masterminds into my business, and I'm really looking for high-powered, energetic people who really want to make a real change in the world, have fun doing it, and really have that lifestyle business they've always wanted.
Exactly. And like for me, if you think that your messaging is missing the mark a little bit and you can't quite figure out why, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a conversation. And then if you like,
cost you nothing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep. Just reach out to us. Yeah. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. Comment below in this show. Just say, hey, you know what? I'd love to have a conversation. It's just a conversation. Yes. And then go from there. Just to see, you might pick up one thing that absolutely changes you forever.
Yes.
And it's free.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, but now I really do have to go to the dentist.
Okay. Have a good day, everybody.
All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.